So, welcome to day 4 of Sounducation, which is advanced keyboard theory. Pardon the ghostly appearance I have today. One of my light bulb top is not working. So, right. Now we're talking about advanced keyboard theory. Last week we kind of talked about what? So talked about how forming chords. Basically, we talked about tritonic, how forming chords is very easy, right? Now I want to introduce you guys to something new. I've talked about 3-part harmonies in terms that you form chords basically by doing this, right? I give you that example, right now. I want to teach you your first trick in forming chords spontaneously that makes sense to you without even knowing. This is like a trick class now, because I remember you guys are advanced guys. So how do you know how to form chords spontaneously on the spot, and you can just probably guess if it's going to be if it's going to make sense or not? Like, for example, if I'm here, right, and I want to go to, let's say, A, I don't know what I want to play, but I just want to put this on top. How do I know what I can just press and I'll just make sense? Like, if I press this, right, how did I know that this was gonna work? What am I thinking about? So now a lot of notes are ringing now because my keyboard recently developed a fault. Yeah, but most of this I'm not thinking about it. Some of them is muscle memory. I don't know what that is. Now, let me not waste time. What I'm thinking about is what I call my personal theory. It's called polychord theory. Not that polychord theory is something that is personal to me, but my approach to it. Now, I'll just give you this. My simple rule is this, right? In every key, there are diatonic chords. Right? Let's say C, for example. There are diatonic chords in C. Right? Now, the way I think about it is that every chord, normally, if I continue to extend it to its greatest limit, right, it can basically encompass every note in the key, right? Look at this, right? So you see that this C13 chord is basically every chord in the C major scale, like I showed before, right? So this is my thought, right? This is what I think. I'll learn it, right? So first of all, if I'm playing in C major and I choose to combine any two diatonic chords in C major in any order, it kind of has to make sense, right? Let's demonstrate. Okay, this is Z, right? How about this? Right? That makes sense. See? That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense, right? Just keep on every single. I've not done any black codes, but you can see that just pressing anything basically on C major seems to give me some kind of context, right? So that's my idea. First of all, that's it seems like if I combine the two diachronic chords together and the key, it has to make sense in some context. It might not be consonant in terms of every note, but all together it's going to make sense. So see, this is literally me just playing E over F, right? You can see just just playing two diatonic chords makes sense. So this is my idea. Now I'll tell you the secret, my secret. When I just want to be spontaneous, right, what I just simply do is think of the cycle of resolve, tension, resolve, tension. So I'll use the simple thing. Right? Simple. Right? Simple. So how do I do resolve tension? I'm thinking, okay, consonant chord, right? Consonant chord, right? So where do my discordant chords come from? Basically, it's just combine this hand with any key or any chord that is not consonant to your key or diatonic to your key, right? So right, these are two diatonic chords, right? This will be an example, right? Or this, right? Or this. Basically combining with chords that have on diatonic tones, basically, right? So the idea is consonants to dissonance, consonants, dissonance. So then consonants, okay, consonants, right? That's step 2. Alright, that's step 2. Now, step 3 is probably where the work is. All you have to do is, in all of those chords, both consonant and dissonant, make sure the highest note there is diatonic. In fact, if you can make it the melody note, you have cracked the code, basically. Because right, alright, right, okay, right, okay, right, let's use E flat for example, but I'll just put the G on top, and that's it. So you might not see it now, but when you are playing like this, even though you don't play like this all the time, but when you are thinking like this, you kind of have guidelines that you can use to be a bit chaotic, even be a bit spontaneous. I don't even know what you want to play, but this gives like a guideline, and a lot of times you'll find a lot of interesting things you've not done before you start doing. But the point is that it keeps you in, I'll say, check, so that when you are playing and you are being a bit, being a bit system, you may not really know what you are playing, but you will know that, okay, fine, put a diatonic chord on the right or make it large, then I just put, and I have something. So that's the way that's the tip, honestly. Dissonance, consonance, diatonic, this thing, mix them up. In fact, I'm going to show you a chart of chords that literally, how I found this out was like I wrote down all the diatonic chords in a particular key. Then I just started combining. I just noticed that this was the pattern. All the altered chords, the raise 9 for example, you can see is literally what's this? Huh? Look at this, right? You probably see that this is just, let me see if I can analyze this quickly. This is up there, 1 2 3. This note here, okay, I've seen it. All right, this note here, look at that. This, if we're talking about E major now, this is not diatonic, this is not diatonic, right? So your raise 9 basically is just doing this and doing this. Yeah, same thing. Diatonic chord, non-diatonic chord, that's all. C raise 9, same thing, right? Same thing. Right, that's the chord I'm looking for. You just C over E flat, that's your raise 9. Every altered chord works this way. So all those funny sounds you are hearing, all those that's the way they work. That's the way they work. So try some things. I'm giving you the tips now, so try some things. All right, see you later.